Welcome to this tutorial. We're going to be covering UV mapping in Autodesk Maya. This is part one, which is an introduction or an overview, you could say, and it's presented by myself, David Mansoret. Okay, so first of all, what is UV mapping? Simply put, UV mapping is the preparation process before you're able to texture. So it comes after you've completed your 3D model, and it's what we carry out before we're able to texture in something like Photoshop. It's a big part of any production pipeline, which involves a model that's textured. So it's something that's very valuable to know how to do, especially if you want to be going from modeling to texturing all by yourself. So hopefully this piece of information will be useful for you. Okay, so why do we need to do it? We need to do UV mapping for three reasons. Okay, so first of all, Maya operates in 3D. Very basic, very simple, but it's important to understand why we need to UV map. And secondly, all textures that are created are 2D in a program such as Photoshop. And what we're doing when we're creating a UV map is we're providing a set of instructions for how Maya should apply the 2D texture to your 3D geometry. Simple as that. I'll say that again. We're providing a set of instructions of how to apply the 2D texture to the 3D geometry. How does this all work? I think the best way for us to go through this is to get out of this slideshow and jump straight into Maya. Maya. Okay, so I've got a scene here that I've prepared here. I've got two primitives. I've got a polygon cube and a subdivisional cube. Okay, so to view our UVs or to do any sort of editing of our UVs, we're going to have to go into our UV texture editor. This can be found in two places in Maya. Making sure that you're in your polygon menu set. As you can see, it changes if I'm in different menu sets. You can either go to edit UVs, UV texture editor. Alternatively, you can go to window, UV texture editor, whichever you prefer. Okay, so all of your UVs are going to appear in this grid here, in this space here. Something that I think is important for me to point out or to let you know is that whenever a primitive or shape is created inside of Maya, Maya automatically maps it with a UV. Automatically, a UV is mapped for a primitive. So why do we need to do it? Okay, so if I select this primitive, the polygon cube, we can see here the UV map that has been created for it. So this is a 2D representation of this 3D of this cube. So if I select the different faces, you can see the different faces are highlighted on the cube itself. Okay, and if I was to choose the subdivisional cube, you can see that the UVs appear slightly different. All of the control point, all of the faces that make up the detail inside of a subdivisional cube all appear here. You can see I highlighted faces on the other side. Okay, so the reason why we need to conduct UV mapping, even though Maya creates its own set of UVs, is because the UV maps that are created, Maya does not update the UV map. So you're going to be doing lots of alterations or warping, moving around of, for example, vertices, and you may do some scaling of some sort. Whoops. May do some scaling of some sort. And as you can see, the UV texture editor stays the same. So what you're going to have to do, if I was to use this to apply the texture for this shape, we're gonna get warping. We're gonna go into a bit more detail with that later on. This is just an overview, like I said in the beginning. So what we would need to do is create a projection of the UVs. It could be planar mapping, cylindrical mapping, spherical mapping, automatic mapping. We're gonna go into all of that in more detail in my next video. So, but this was just an introduction to UV mapping, explaining a bit about what it is, why we need to do it, and how to get to the UV texture editor. And we're gonna have a dedicated video to the UV texture editor. So tune into the next video. I hope you've learned something. Stay with me and have a good day.